How are you? I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and I want to know, how are you really? Do you need a little me time, a little pampering, maybe even a little indulging? Well, good, because I've got recipes today to help. So don't move. I'm here to treat you. Next on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? Good morning all, I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein and welcome to SoFlo Taste and the Goya Kitchen in the Culinary Lab at Florida Education Institute. You know how there are just some recipes that you turn to when you need a little pampering? Well, I do, and today I thought it would be fun to share them with you, so let's get cooking. Today is really all about things that maybe you just need as like a munchie, you know, when you're just feeling like you just want to be home and eat whatever you feel like eating. So that's our day today. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to make the Elvis. According to a lot of different books, Elvis definitely loved peanut butter and banana. I mean, who doesn't, really? Actually, my favorite was always peanut butter and pickle. I know that's weird, but it was my shtick. I also heard that he liked it with bacon. So we're gonna go all the way and do it like that. We've got some good old white bread, the trashiest white bread I could find, and we're just gonna throw it into an oven for like a minute. If you have a toaster, you can do that, just to give it a little strength before we go ahead and spread all the good stuff that we're spreading onto it. Then we're gonna take a banana and mash that up so we can go on one side of the bread with banana. I don't think we need more than about a half, 3/4 of the banana. The rest of it I always just eat. So we're just gonna mash that up. You know what? I think we can use the whole banana. Let's just use the whole thing. All right. Now, if those of you make fun peanut butter sandwiches, you know how dear they are to your heart. When I tell you I would eat a peanut butter and pickle on toast every day for like a year, I'm not kidding. I even ate it with my hands tied behind my back in a race to see who would eat them fastest. Okay, so this has a little bit of toastiness to it so that we can spread a little bit easier. So let's place them right here. Just so you know, my pan is already on. Obviously, this is a griddled sandwich. So let's go ahead and place the banana on one side and the peanut butter on the other. Now, I'm using creamy peanut butter. I don't really know what kind of peanut butter Elvis liked. I don't know too much about Elvis history, but I've heard about this forever. And I just love creamy peanut butter. And again, we all have our favorite brands, right? So go with your favorite. Okay, so we've got peanut butter, we've got banana. Next, we've got crispy bacon that I just cooked in the oven. This is my favorite way, by the way, of cooking bacon. I just basically put it either on a rack, which is really the best way, or a little parchment paper and cook it in the oven. Now I'm gonna go with a lot of bacon because I love it. Close this sandwich up. Okay, a little bit of butter. Not too much butter. And obviously you don't have hands of steel, so you might not want to do that with your fingers like I do. Sorry about that. A lot of people tell me that I shouldn't stick my finger in pans, but you know, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, so I think it's okay. All right, so I'm basically just gonna griddle this. We're gonna get it beautifully toasted on both sides. If I have to add a little butter on the next side, I will. When you come back, it'll be gorgeously golden and crispy. So come right back for some more treats to eat here on SoFlo Taste.
Come back to SoFlo Taste from the Goya Kitchen at the Culinary Lab at Florida Education Institute, here on Local 10.
I'm design expert Elena Capra, and after Michelle, join me for SoFlo Home Project here on Local 10.
It's a Milam's Markets Minute. Here's Melinda Harper.
So it seems as everything in Milam's is big and bold, and this wine section is no different.
Well, while other retailers may have a section, for us, it's the winery. We have over 2,000 bottles for sale here, different varieties, different price points, from value wines to ultra premium wines. Every single day, you could have a different wine for over 5 years.
Oh, that's me. Do that.
Well, hopefully we can help you find what you're looking for, but everything is organized so that it's a little bit easier to find. We have all sorts of specials you can take advantage of in store, and you have to check out our sparkling wine section. The options there for whatever occasion, our sparkling wine is definitely something to check out.
So if you're looking for something for a special occasion, maybe a date night at home, or you want to just curl up with a bottle or glass of wine and watch a good movie, you gotta come to Milam's.
Come check out our variety. If you can't shop our store, shop online. Like with everything else here at Milam's, it can be delivered to you. Let us bring the best to you at milamsmarkets.com.
Well, Lee, looks like I'm all stocked up. Thanks. See you later.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm here in the fabulous Culinary Lab of Florida Education Institute. FEI's Culinary Arts program offers its students an education that spins international culinary fundamentals in only months. You can graduate from FEI Culinary Arts program and start your new career on the dynamic SoFlo culinary scene. For more information, visit fei.edu/culinary-arts. Now back to some foods made for self-lavishing. All right, everybody, this is the Elvis. I think it's looking pretty darn delicious and craveable. And, you know, this is really all about munchies, so what a good munchie. All right, my next dish is one of my absolute favorites when I need a munchie. It is penne alla vodka. So we're gonna make a quick vodka sauce, one that doesn't take too long to make. So let's go ahead and just heat up this big pan on about a lower medium heat. And then of course I have the penne already cooking. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of extra virgin oil and some butter into this large saute pan. And we're gonna add some very finely minced shallot and a little bit of garlic as well. Okay, so let's just allow that to soften. We don't want any color on the shallot or the garlic. Sometimes you can use caramelized shallots for things, but in this recipe, you want it to really just be transparent and melt in your mouth delicious. So we're gonna use a little bit of the starchy water from the pasta for this to thicken it, but we also have heavy cream. Be careful when you have a pan with this much surface area, because whatever happens in the middle will always over caramelize, where everything on the outside will take a little bit longer. So just always kind of keep an eye on it unless you have a smaller pan. But I like to make pasta in a big pan so the pasta can go right into the sauce. So next we're going to deglaze with vodka. What kind of vodka? I really have no idea. I don't really drink it, but I'm sure anything you have will do. Once that deglazes a little bit, which it already has basically started to, I'm going to go ahead and add tomatoes. So these are canned tomatoes, and what I like to do with good DOP canned tomatoes is make sure you kind of macerate them with your hands and then put them back in some of their juices. So when using canned tomatoes, that's where quality needs to come, all right? So you can skimp on other things, you can buy a cheap vodka, you can use the onions instead of the shallots, but if you're gonna make a sauce with tomatoes, make sure they're good tomatoes. So we like to always use either a really good DOP, or if you have your favorite brand of canned tomatoes, like there's this one brand from Jersey, I forget the name, but some friends sent me some once and it was incredible, but I never found it again. So find your good stuff, stash it away in your pantry, and bring it out whenever you're making your favorite sauces. So it has been 8 minutes for the pasta. This has to just cook for a couple minutes. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and a little black pepper. Traditionally, penne alla vodka does not have red crushed chilies. It's not supposed to be a spicy dish, but if you want it to be, you can. All right, let's go ahead and add the cream now. All right, and as this cream starts melting into the sauce, I'm not only going to add some of the pasta, well, all the pasta, I'm going to add a little bit of the starchy water to it. So I do salt my water for my pasta, but I don't over salt it like I normally would if I'm not going to use the water. But because I use the water so often, I don't salt the pasta water as much as I used to, because I don't want that reduction of salt water to go into anything that I'm making. So my pasta is very al dente at this point. This pasta that I'm using was about a 10 to 12 minute cook, and this only cooked for 8 to 9 minutes thus far. So I'm going to add all the pasta, and now I'm going to be adding the starchy water. And what we're going to do is we are going to finish the cooking of the pasta in the sauce. And that is the best, because what this does is not only does it allow it to cook the pasta, but think about it, it's soaking up the sauce, right? So we're going to give it an even better flavor. So once this does that for the next 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, and we're going to throw in some fresh basil. And when you come back, we'll toss it together and see how it comes out. Come right back to SoFlo Taste as we roll on this morning. See you in a minute. SoFlo Taste will return right after this. For more information on today's show or to see a recent SoFlo Taste episode, please go to our website, SoFloShows.com. There you can find everything SoFlo Taste. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. So this is our delicious penne alla vodka. Now it has, remember, the fresh basil tossed into it, a lot of Parmesan cheese. And after I plate it, I always love to serve everyone a little bit of Parmesan. Now this is Parmigiano Reggiano for this one. It's, you know, the highest quality of Parmesan cheese, and I love it. And there you have it. Nothing beats this if you're just in the mood for staying at home and eating something very comforting and delicious. All right, last on my list for today's recipes is one of my favorites. And speaking of recipes, all of my recipes are always available on the SoFlo Shows webpage. Just scan this quick response code for a quick trip to the informative SoFlo Shows page with SoFlo Home Project and SoFlo Health there too. You'll also see this QR code on my recipes ingredient list throughout the show. Now back to my recipes to treat yourself. This is what we make at home when my little family is together and we know that it's maybe movie night and we want to stay in and we're just craving something sweet and delicious. I do a Sundae bar, and there's nothing like a Sundae bar, and I bet you have most of this stuff at home. And if you don't, it's really easy stuff to get. Nothing's expensive. So let's jump in. I'm actually going to teach you 2 sauces that we have today on our Sundae bar. I think we're going to make the strawberry sauce first. We're going to put everything in a pot and just let it go. So for the strawberry sauce, we have strawberries, obviously. These are whole, but once you whole them, you basically just cut them in half or even in quarters if you want to go even faster, and put them into a little pot. Go ahead and take the zest of, I would say you don't even need a whole lemon for this amount, just like half a lemon, and go ahead and add the juice of that lemon. Now, you can add as much sugar as you want to. I love the strawberries to taste like strawberries, so for me, a nice balance of the lemon juice and the sugar is really important, so I don't go too crazy with the sugar, but for a good texture of jam, a little more sugar is kind of necessary for a good, creamy, thick pectin. All right, next, vanilla beans. These babies are expensive. If you would rather use vanilla paste or extract, all good. But if you happen to have these like I do in my freezer, go ahead and don't use too much of it, okay? But flatten it out a little bit with the non-sharp side of the knife, okay? Go ahead and cut it into, I would say, lengthwise, only about a third of it down, and then only cut a little piece of that off. So this is all I'm using. The rest goes in my freezer. I use these, I mean, they last me forever because I use them throughout the year, but just a little piece of it. The last thing I'm adding, I'm making a little slurry, cornstarch slurry. I have hot water in here. I have cornstarch here. I'll add it to the cornstarch, mix it up, and then go ahead and pour that in. Let's go ahead and start cooking that on about a medium temperature. You'll know when it's done when you have all these kind of big bubbles that glaze over. Just delicious. Cool it off to room temperature, then you can jar it like I have like this and store it in your fridge. I keep it for months on end. And it's a great gift as well, by the way, when it comes to holiday time. Let's jump into the chocolate sauce next. What we're gonna do is, I used to make this out of heavy cream, and I've decided to change it to milk, make it a little bit lighter. Still as glazy, thick, and chocolatey as ever, but using milk instead. Now, if you want to, an alternative milk does great with this sauce as well. You can absolutely change this to whatever your favorite alternative milk might be. All right, so let's go ahead and add the milk first to this small pot, because you know you can make gallons if you want of chocolate sauce, but it doesn't last forever in your fridge. The longest I've ever kept it really nicely is about a week, because it is, you know, it's fresh milk, right? So you don't want to keep it for too long. You don't want to just make too much. You want to make enough to maybe have this one and then the next night or a couple days later. So let's go ahead and start heating that. And what I have here is really good premium cocoa powder. I love pure cocoa powder. The better you buy, the better your stuff is going to taste. And then, of course, really good bittersweet chocolate. This one is probably in the 70 range of bittersweet chocolate. You want something nice and dark. Don't ever make chocolate sauce out of milk chocolate. It would just be a shame. It would be too sweet. Remember, we're adding sugar to this too, so it's going to be delicious. So little by little, first I start adding cocoa powder to it until I think that it looks good. Of course, you're gonna have a recipe, but I like to eye everything when I make it. Once we have a good chocolate milk color, nice and dark and delicious, I add a little bit of my sugar until I use it all up, and let that sugar melt. And I can feel that it's melted. Then I'm gonna go ahead and shut off the heat and add chocolate until it's nice and thick. So easy, right? Crazy. So we're gonna keep whisking. And while I do that, I wanna show you all the goodies that we have today for our Sundae bar. So this is what we have today, and you can do, like I said, whatever you want to. We've got some Amarena cherries. Amarena cherries are these delicious Italian cherries. If you like maraschinos, you can use that too, but there's all kinds of really great cherries now on the market that are just delicious that you should try. We made obviously our own strawberry sauce. We've got little Reese's Pieces. You know, the kids love the sprinkles. My son can't eat a sundae anymore without gummies, which destroys his teeth, but I let him do it a couple times a year. And then finally, marshmallows. These happen to be vanilla scented marshmallows, but you can just go with plain old marshmallows. So I want to show you the texture of this, and we're going to just let it cool for like a minute before we serve it, but let me show you what it looks like. So this is the texture of the sauce. It'll cool just a little, and it'll thicken even more. And when you come right back, we will make a sundae together. So I'll see you in just a minute. Stay tuned to SoFlo Taste. We'll be right back.